What's up, everyone? It's your host, coming at you with a question that might just blow your mind. Coming at you with a question that might just blow your mind. Ever wondered where in the world Americans might not get the warmest welcome? Like, you show up with your fanny pack "I love New York" shirt instead of a high five, you get crickets or maybe a side eye. It's a wild thought, right? But before you grab your pitchfork, start chanting USA, USA. Let's get one thing straight. This video is all in good fun. We're not here to point fingers, throw shade. Instead, we're diving deep into some fascinating places with complex stories, all to inspire a little more understanding and a lot less judgment. Think of this as your global tea spilling session, where we explore the why behind the welcome or not sign. It's about looking beyond the headlines and politics to see the bigger picture. We're going on a journey to understand different perspectives. Trust me, it's going to be a roller coaster of history, culture, some seriously surprising facts. So buckle up. We're about to challenge some stereotypes and maybe even add a few unexpected destinations to your bucket list. And hey, make sure you turn on those subtitles because you won't want to miss a single detail of this adventure. Let's get into it. Ready to have your passport stamped, your perceptions stamped? Good. This isn't about creating a no-go list. It's the exact opposite. It's about seeing these places for what they truly are. Rich, beautiful, full of incredible people, even if the welcome mat has a few wrinkles in it. We're going to unpack the reasons, from political tensions, historical hiccups that might make things a little tricky for American travelers. All right, let's kick things off with the big one, the one everyone whispers about, North Korea. When you think not welcoming to Americans, this is probably the first place that pops into your head. And you're not wrong. But the story is way more layered than a simple keep-out sign. It's less about you, Chad from Ohio, and more about a government that has its doors triple bolted to the outside world. Think super exclusive club. One person in, one person out, except the line hasn't moved since 1953. The government's control here is legendary. Next level strict. Every aspect of a foreigner's visit is planned, curated, monitored. You don't just wander for bibimbap. You're on a guided tour showing exactly what they want you to see. It's the ultimate real-life Truman Show. Your guides are with you 24/7, not just pointing out monuments, but making sure you don't color outside the very, very clearly defined lines. So it's not personal animosity, it's systemic, top-down isolation. The average person in Pyongyang probably has no beef with deep dish pizza or monster truck rallies. They likely have little exposure to average Americans beyond state media. Their world is shaped by a different reality, and the government prefers to keep it that way. A fortress built on ideology, not a personal vendetta against your passport. But for the few who go on these super-controlled tours, the experience is described as surreal, a glimpse into a world frozen in time. You see massive monuments, perfectly synchronized mass games, and a society that's completely, utterly unique. It's not just hard to get in. It's a profound disconnect. Decades of political conflict, sanctions, and deep mistrust, especially stemming from the Korean War. The armistice was a ceasefire, not a peace treaty. Next up, we're heading to a country with a history as rich and intricate as a Persian rug, Iran. Let's be real, the relationship between the United States and Iran has been tense. Like Thanksgiving dinner with your most political relatives, tense, but for over 40 years. This complex political history, starting with the 1979 revolution, has created a ton of hurdles for American travelers. Getting a visa is a whole saga that can involve long waits, lots of paperwork, and the requirement to be on a guided tour at all times. The media often paints a picture of Iran that's all politics and conflict, but that's like describing an entire library by only reading the cover of one book. The reality on the ground, according to travelers who've been there, is shockingly different. The disconnect between the government's rhetoric and the people's attitude is massive. Iranians are famous for their hospitality, a concept called tarof, which often involves refusing payment for a taxi or a meal out of sheer courtesy. Imagine this. You're walking through Isfahan, with its turquoise-domed mosques and ancient bridges, and a local family invites you into their home for tea. This isn't a rare occurrence. It's a cornerstone of their culture. They are often incredibly curious about Americans and eager to share their perspective, to show you that the headlines don't define them. They want to talk about poetry, food, family, and what life is really like, beyond the political standoff. The travel restrictions are a direct result of the soured diplomatic relations. There's no United States embassy in Iran, and the governments view each other with deep suspicion. This translates into concrete obstacles for citizens. It's a frustrating reality that keeps two cultures, which have more in common than you'd think, largely separate. It's a wall built brick by brick over decades of political maneuvering, sanctions, and mutual distrust. But here's a fun fact. Iran is home to one of the world's oldest civilizations. We're talking about the Persian Empire, a global superpower when other parts of the world were still figuring out pointy sticks. Their contributions to science, mathematics, art, and philosophy are mind-blowing. From the poetry of Rumi to the stunning architecture of Persepolis, this land is a treasure trove of human history that predates the current political climate by millennia. Okay, let's fly over to South America, to a country that really has it all. Breathtaking waterfalls, stunning Caribbean coastlines, and a very strained relationship with the United States. Welcome to Venezuela. Diplomatic relations have been on ice for years. The political and economic crisis has led to hyperinflation, shortages, and instability. It's a challenging place for anyone, let alone a tourist. The U.S. has a Level 4 Do Not Travel advisory, the highest level. That's because of serious issues like crime, civil unrest, and arbitrary enforcement of local laws. The governments have been at odds for a long time. Diplomatic services are suspended, so the U.S. Embassy can't really help if you get in trouble. Behind the headlines, there's staggering natural beauty. Angel Falls, the world's tallest uninterrupted waterfall, cascades off a tabletop mountain. It looks like something from Avatar. The country also has the Andes Mountains, the Amazon rainforest, and picture-perfect Caribbean islands. It's a geographic jackpot. And then there are the people. Despite immense hardships, Venezuelans are warm, resilient, and full of life. They always find a reason to dance, to sing, and to share what little they have. Travelers often speak of incredible generosity from curious, welcoming locals. The friction is mostly at the governmental level. Leadership clashes have isolated the country and devastated its people. An American traveler might be met with curiosity, not hostility. Most Venezuelans worry about their next meal, not your nationality. This is a beautiful country and people held hostage by crisis. Unwelcoming behavior is a symptom of instability, not culture. Infrastructure for tourism and general safety has crumbled. It's a tough, tragic situation. So why care and keep Venezuela in your heart? Because it reminds us to separate people from government. All right, let's talk about the neighbor that's been in timeout for over 60 years, Cuba. This island nation is just 90 miles off the coast of Florida. Yet for most Americans, it has felt a world away. The reason? A long-standing economic embargo and travel restrictions making a simple trip to Havana feel like a mission for James Bond. It's the ultimate story of being so close, yet so far. The United States embargo against Cuba began in the early 1960s and has shaped relations for generations. It has impacted everything from trade to travel. For a long time, American tourism to Cuba was straight up illegal. Even now, with rules slightly relaxed, you can't just go for a beach vacation. Travel must fall under one of 12 authorized categories, like support for the Cuban people or family visits. It's not exactly a spontaneous weekend getaway. This political standoff has created a time capsule effect. Walking through Havana is like stepping onto a 1950s movie set. You see classic American cars, gleaming Chevys and Buicks, cruising down streets of colorful, crumbling colonial architecture. The lack of U.S. commercial influence preserved a unique, authentically Cuban aesthetic. It's visually stunning and culturally intoxicating. But the real magic isn't the cars, it's the culture. This is the birthplace of salsa, rumba, and mambo. Music spills out of every doorway and window. It's in the rhythm of the streets, the passion of the people, and the soul of the nation. Cuban art, literature, and dance are vibrant and full of life, a testament to creative spirit despite hardship. The restrictions and difficult history might make it seem like Americans would be unwelcome, but the reality on the ground is the opposite. Cubans are often friendly, open, and excited to meet Americans. They are eager to share stories, talk about baseball, a shared passion, and bridge the political gap. The connection is often instant and genuine. The unwelcoming vibe comes from bureaucratic red tape, not the people. For our final stop, we're venturing to a place that is currently one of the most difficult and dangerous for any traveler to visit: Libya. Following the 2011 revolution that overthrew Muammar Gaddafi, the country has been mired in instability civil war conflict between rival factions. This has made it a definite no-go zone for tourists, and the United States State Department has a stern, do not travel advisory in place. The lack of a stable central government means there's a severe security vacuum. The risk of crime kidnapping getting caught in crossfire is extremely high. This isn't about a government being unwelcoming in a bureaucratic sense. It's about a nation in the throes of a deep and violent crisis where safety simply cannot be guaranteed. The current situation is a tragic chapter in the country's long and storied history, but this is why we need to talk about it. Before the conflict, Libya was a historian's dream. It is home to some of the most magnificent and well-preserved Roman ruins outside of Italy. The ancient city of Leptis Magna is a jaw-dropping archaeological site, a sprawling port city with a stunning amphitheater arches temples that rival those in Rome itself. It's a UNESCO World Heritage Site that speaks to a time when Libya was a thriving and vital part of the Roman Empire. Then there's the ancient Greek city of Cyrene, another breathtaking set of ruins nestled in the green hills of the north. And let's not forget the vast, stunning landscapes of the Sahara Desert, unique rock art hidden oases. Libya's history is a rich tapestry woven with threads from Phoenician, Greek, Roman, Ottoman, indigenous cultures. It's a crossroads of civilization. The current instability completely overshadows this incredible heritage. The unwelcoming nature of Libya today is born from conflict and chaos, not from the hearts of its people. The Libyans themselves are facing unimaginable challenges, and the preservation of their cultural treasures is under constant threat. It's a profound loss, not just for them, but for all of humanity. This is a story of hope against hope, and that's a wrap on our whirlwind tour of some of the world's most misunderstood places. And hey, speaking of open hearts, remember, it takes being humane to subscribe to this channel. Please subscribe, like, and share. Every click helps us continue to build these bridges of understanding. Thank you for watching, stay curious, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.